So I just got back from Tasting Brooklyn, which is the first annual tasting event put on by Brooklyn Exposed. And it features like 20 to 25, maybe even more, of Brooklyn's best restaurants ever. And when I tell you the restaurants brought their A game, oh my goodness, it was such a yummy night. So I'm going to give you my top 10. So the first one was from Tannerine restaurant. So they had fried Brussels sprouts. You guys, I don't even like Brussels sprouts. Fried Brussels sprouts with hummus and pita chips. And it was insane. I mean, just the Brussels sprouts themselves, they had that sort of meaty texture and you wouldn't even miss it. It was a perfect meatless appetizer. Red Hook Lobster Roll featured their shrimp roll. I've never had a lobster roll before. I'm actually not really a big fan of lobster. But the shrimp, oh my God. It was a shrimp roll and it had like fresh bread and fresh tarragon. It was so yummy and creamy and the shrimp was just right. That hit the spot. I had to. And there was Rubychellies. I might be pronouncing their name wrong again, excuse me. But they had this Danish apple cake. So it was a Danish apple cake cupcake. It was moist. It was perfect. I mean, I've had some cupcakes where, you know, like maybe the icing isn't right or the cake is... No. None of that occurred tonight. The cupcake was perfect. I mean, it was just like delicious on top of delicious on top of yummy. And then they started like, hey, it's a cupcake. I was like, this is the best thing ever. I had 4 of those. And don't judge me. Oh, next was this polenta dish from Rebar, okay? Rebar. And basically it was creamy polenta with truffle oil and toasted pine nuts with sunny side up quail eggs. That I could get with. It was so delicious. And I just figured, you know, I'm going to Italy this fall and maybe I should just cancel my trip to Venice because they're supposed to be the polenta capital of the world. But clearly Rebar was like the polenta capital of the world because that was the best polenta ever on earth. Truffle oil and toasted pine nuts. I don't think you understand. I went to Lingard Cafe and Lounge. And they had a raw kale salad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it was kale with red onion, golden raisins, quinoa, and walnuts, and then a sort of citrus vinaigrette. It took my breath away. That's exactly how I was. I took the first bite and I couldn't say anything else. I just sat there and moaned in ecstasy, of course. It was so good. Next thing that I loved was from Palo Santo, and it was taco de conejo, so it was a rabbit taco, and it was in this sort of green sauce on a fresh little small tortilla with fresh guacamole. Oh my God. I just bit it and I just stood there. I just stood there, and the owner, he was so funny. He's like, it's fresh, isn't it? I was like, it's so fresh, and he was like, exactly like me. So amazing. It was the best taco ever. Clover Club. So it was this lamb slider with like goat cheese and red onion. It was perfect. It was freaking succulent and delicious. I mean, it's lamb sliders that were, I don't know, equal to heaven. I don't know what else to explain it as. Had Indian and Ethiopian food. So I had to group that into another category because I was like, oh my goodness, I love it. So they had chicken tikka masala with naan basmati, right, which was from Baluchis. And then they had Ethiopian food. So they had misirwat, which are like the spicy red lentils. This other dish, I do not remember what it was called. And they had the beef tips. And that was from Bati, which is also on Fulton Street. I've been there before. And the food is pretty good. The last thing that I loved was from Thistle Hill Tavern. You guys, don't even think you're ready. It was a sweet pea falafel with a sort of mint herb sauce. I'm not even exactly sure what the full sauce name was, but it was so ridiculous. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, you guys, I don't think you understand. This is why I had to do a video. Like, I could not wait to just type it out. I had to get it off my chest. It was so yummy, such a delicious event, and I cannot wait for next year and the year after. You must be there. It is a must-attend event. When I tell you the restaurants brought their A game. Shout out to Nicole Taylor of Hot Grease. I got a chance to catch up with her. Give thanks. You've been watching Shelley Chapman, your food relationship coach of eatrelatelove.com, and you can catch the rest of this post, other pictures about the Tasting Brooklyn event from Brooklyn Exposed on the blog. I'll see you there. Take care.